Hello, my name is Cam, and today I'm going to be talking about Chapter 7, which focuses on designing a customer value driven marketing strategy. Um, in this presentation, I will go over some of the major glossary terms from the chapter and expand on how they connect to the four writing assignments I personally completed. One thing I really liked about this chapter is that it changed the way I think about marketing. Before reading it, I mostly thought marketing was about just advertising or selling products ultimately. After reading the chapter, I realized that marketing actually starts much earlier. It begins by understanding customers, identifying their needs, and creating value before a product is actually ever promoted. I think that the Nexus case study really helped bring these concepts fully together because it showed how marketing decisions can affect engineering, operations, and long term business strategy as a whole, which impacts businesses altogether. So I will start by discussing some of the glossary terms from the chapter. So the first term is market segmentation. Market segmentation means dividing a larger market into smaller groups of customers who have similar characteristics, needs, lifestyles, or certain buying behaviors or buying patterns. Companies do this because not every customer is looking for the same thing ultimately. If a company tries to create one product for everyone, it usually ends up creating something that does not satisfy all of the customers or everybody. Segmentation helps businesses understand the different types of customers they serve. The next important concept is market targeting. After identifying different customer groups, a company has to decide which market segment it wants to serve. This decision depends on profitability, growth potential, competition, and available resources. Differentiation means creating something unique that separates your product from competitors. Positioning is how customers perceive your product compared to competitors. Customer value is the balance between the benefits customers receive and the cost they pay. So the first assignment focused on the framework. Segmentation came first because Nexus needs to understand the different customer groups. Targeting came next because Sloan believed the company cannot be everything to everyone. Nexus had limited engineering resources, manufacturing capacity, and financial resources as a whole. Trying to build products for every customer would spread these resources way too thin, making it risky as a whole. And once the target market was selected, Nexus could begin differentiating its products. Finally, Nexus positioned itself as the premium cybersecurity company for customers who value privacy and independence above everything else. One thing I learned from this assignment is that each step builds on from the previous step. The second assignment was used for behavioral segmentation and psychographic segmentation. Psychographic segmentation looks at people's lifestyles, their values, personalities, their beliefs. Behavioral segmentation looks at how customers actually use products, what benefits they want, and how often they purchase these products. The three customer groups were sovereigns, the nomads, and the collectives. I also explained how business customers like Vanguard Bank are evaluated differently from its individual consumers. The biggest lesson that I learned is that understanding why customers buy something is oftentimes more valuable than just simply knowing who the customers are. This is because knowing why customers buy something is the reason why you're making the product. So knowing who they are isn't going to tell you what they want ultimately from you. So knowing why customers want to buy something is more valuable because it tells you what they're using that product for when they are buying it. So that is why understanding customers buying something is more valuable than simply knowing who they are, because you're getting to see exactly why they're buying something instead of just their personality and whatnot. The third assignment focused on the best target market. Salone, he evaluated different customer segments using segment size and growth, structural attractiveness, and company objectives and resources. Because Nexus had limited production capacity, after securing the Vanguard contract, a concentrated marketing strategy made the most sense overall. Also discussed the risk of relying onto one market and recommended continuing innovation while gradually expanding into additional markets. This brings us into not being limited in our markets and having a variety of markets that we can go into as a whole, instead of idling us into one market and just ultimately shaping us into that one market. So this will continue innovation and also expand us out farther to different markets to reach out to them. The final assignment focused on differentiation and positioning. I created a perceptual map which compared Nexus or Incorporated and the Agus Act. I also explained product, service, people, and image differentiation. Finally, I discussed the more for more value proposition and why Nexus should carefully protect its premium reputation if it expands into lower price markets in the future. Overall, this chapter 7, taught me that marketing starts long before actual advertising. It begins understanding customers, choosing the right target market, creating value, and communicating that value effectively. The Nexus case study connected marketing with engineering, operations, and business strategy. After completing all four assignments, I have a much better understanding of how segmentation, targeting, differentiation, and positioning work together to create ultimate customer value for each customer. Thank you.